Hey, this is the Review Junkie, and today I'll be reviewing the new horror thriller Night Swim. As always, my review will be illustrated and the artwork is done by myself. And if you like movies, art, and comic books, please hit that subscribe button because all my reviews are hand drawn, and I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers soon so my channel can be official. This movie stars Wyatt Russell, Carrie Condon, Amelie Hofferle, Gavin Warren, and Jodie Long. It is written and directed by Bryce McGuire. This is a non-spoiler review, so everything I discuss will have been shown in the trailer. Absolutely no spoilers. I'll tell you briefly about the plot, the characters, my pros and cons, final thoughts, and if this is worth checking out at your local movie theater. Man, I got tricked again. When am I going to learn my lesson? For the love of God, please just give me a decent horror film. So I saw the teaser and the first trailer, and I was immediately sucked in. I had to see this. I had such high hopes going in. I was like, yeah, what a cool concept. A supernatural haunted pool. But damn, this becomes another interesting film with a unique premise and so much potential that just goes completely wasted. And I think the second trailer actually gives away too much. The plot is straightforward and involves the Waller family. The father, played by Wyatt Russell, is a professional baseball player, but he retires early because he's not well and needs to work on recovering. His family is house hunting, and they end up picking this house that has a pool in the backyard, and that was kind of its high selling point. And if I saw a house with a pool, I would get it too. Okay. So as they get settled in, they get the pool cleaned up and start swimming in it, and suddenly a sequence of bad things start to happen. Each of the characters start to hear things, see things. The pool is like schizophrenic because the lights work sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. It flickers. Basically, crazy things start to happen. We've seen this before, right? Bizarre things happen, people investigate and try to stop it, etc. So let me start out with the pros because I only have 3. I like the entire cast, and I thought they were giving it their all with the material that they had. Everyone came out very likable and they had good screen presence. And the standout to me is probably the wife, played by Carrie Condon, because her character gets a little bit more to do, and that's probably why her performance stood out. The kids were really good as well, and they delivered their lines with conviction and no issue. None of them came off annoying, and the film is shot well. I thought there were interesting shots and underwater shots from interesting angles, and it has a very clean look to go with this suburban neighborhood. And the last thing is, I felt the film took its time to set things up. It's almost like a slow burn. It didn't feel rushed like it was just trying to get to the next jump scare. It just lets things play out, and you get the family just being themselves and preparing life in this new neighborhood. So the slow pacing I found to be refreshing and a nice change from the usual horror suspense formula. But it's also one of the biggest flaws here because this felt like a chore to get through. I kept waiting for something interesting to happen and waiting for that jolt to pull me in. And the first real jump scare actually happens about 30 minutes in, and then you get another one 10 minutes later. Everything prior, I wouldn't label it a jump scare because there's no creepy music, no build-up, or the camera panning in a different direction to set up the scare. It's just things that happen abruptly, and it's not effective. It doesn't make you jump out of your seat whatsoever. I have to say that it does get really good about 1 hour in, from that point, it does deliver for the most part, but it's unfortunate that we have to wait that long, and at that point is when the reveal comes out about the pool, and a specific actress shows up to give the reveal, and I'm trying to stay spoiler free, but the first minute that this person is on screen, it seems like a comedic bit. Very SNL. It was hard to take her seriously, but when the reveal comes out, I was like, wow, that's actually interesting. But at that point, there isn't much time left in the movie. Everything has to wrap up, so it made me realize what a missed opportunity this was. There definitely could have been more scenes dedicated to its lore to pull in the audience, but instead we get a decent exposition scene, which is fine, and there was enough intrigue to keep me invested. There's also investigating that Carrie, the mother, does when she starts to suspect there's way too many strange things happening to everyone every time they're in the pool. But it flies by at such a quick speed that any suspense building that could have occurred never materializes. Even the newspaper articles that she finds doesn't get screen time for us to even read the headlines. Like I said, multiple wasted opportunities. So this brings me to my final thoughts, and this gets a 4 out of 10 from me. It's not trash, and it's from a first-time director, so I'm trying to be understanding, but this ends up being a bit below average. The only thing saving it are the cast performances and the interesting premise that you hope gets proper payoff, but it never does. I don't need to see this again or have it playing in the background while I vacuum. I would actually skip this one unless you're a hardcore Blumhouse fan and have to see everything released from the studio. Otherwise, I actually felt tricked again. So thanks again for checking out my review. If you like, please subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share this with your friends. And if you happen to have a movie you'd like me to review, please let me know. I'd be happy to watch and illustrate it for a future video. Thanks again, and I hope the pictures put a smile on your face.